Chyba wszystko działa. Chyba się udało. Po raz pierwszy od roku i 2 miesięcy. Stream odpalony. Oczywiście patrząc na to, że tak długo nie odpalałem streama, to pewnie będą jakieś biksy. Z tego co widzę, to samo podejrzenie streamu nie wygląda specjalnie dobrze.
You are risen from the dust, and you walk in my garden. Hear now my voice, and know that I am your friend, and I am called Elohim.
Tak patrzę na podgląd streama, to nie wygląda to jakby specjalnie się zacinało mocno. Ale zobaczymy. Ogólnie wyłączę podgląd, żeby trochę ograniczyć sobie zacinki, jakie by mogły powstać. Otwieram okna czatu, żebym widział, jak ktoś do mnie pisze. Jeśli na razie działa ok, to dobrze. To jest ciekawe, jak patrzę na OBS-a, to podgląd w OBS-ie jest tragiczny. Ścina się, jakby było 5 klatek na sekundę. Odpaliłem sobie na razie grę wcześniej, żeby zobaczyć, czy wszystko będzie działać prawidłowo. Ustawiłem sobie ustawienia graficzne, które będą akceptowalne. W tym momencie mam poza ścinką 30-klatkową tak 56 klatek na sekundę. Więc nie jest tragicznie. Tylko nie sprawdzałem jeszcze, jak będzie ze streamem.
This land is but a dream. You will stay here only for a little while. Soon you will awaken in a new world. But first you must undertake the trials of initiation. They will help me prepare your vessel.
No, cały ten długi wstęp był po to, żeby powiedzieć, że jakby wchodzę w grę na ślepo, bez żadnej wiedzy o tym, co się dzieje, jaka jest fabuła i jakie są historie, tylko przez chwilę sobie spojrzałem. Przez chwilę sobie spojrzałem, czy wszystko będzie działać prawidłowo. Już spam.
You are collecting are not mere toys. They are symbols of the process by which our people were created.
Dobra, tylko teraz jak usunąć tą wiadomość? Już zapomniałem, jak to się robi. Jesus Christ.
as you wish. But remember, my child, that the new world awaits you, and this place is only a dream.
Tak, Elohim. Nie wiem, czemu nie jestem w stanie kliknąć na wiadomość, żeby ją usunąć. Kurde bele. Jakby co, jak jestem wyaltabowany z gry, to ona też brzmi dużo ciszej. Więc też stąd może być kwestia tego, że jej nie słychać tak dobrze, ale jak włączę z powrotem, to zobaczymy. A, o mikrofon. Dobrze. Mikrofon też zaraz podgłośnię. Jak tylko znajdę... A, dobra. W końcu ta wiadomość się... Nie wiem, czy ta wiadomość się sama usunęła, czy ja ją usunąłem ostatecznie, ale już jej na czacie nie ma. Przynajmniej nie na tym, którego ja widzę. A tak to będzie. A wiem jeszcze, co mogę jedno zrobić. Oni to w wykrzyknikach nie są potrzebne, patrząc na to, że tam widać wszystko, co trzeba z klockami. Na początku jest prosto, wiadomo. Pierwsze puzzle, które służą tylko do tego, żeby pokazać graczowi, o co chodzi. A, dobra, to tutaj tylko to. Wszystkie trzy klocki już.
Well done, my child.
No, znaczy, jedną z rzeczy, którą wiem o tej grze, to że oglądałem trailer na launch i domyślam się, że prawdopodobnie chodzi tutaj o to, żeby się jakby przygotować do wejścia w swoje nowe cielsko. O, dostajemy trudniejsze puzzle. dopasowujemy tak jak mówisz. Zwiększona głośność mikrofonu, zmniejszona głośność gry. Mam nadzieję, że będzie teraz lepiej. Myślę sobie, że w ogóle będę musiał dodać sobie w końcu ten overlay czatów do OBS-a, bo za każdym razem jak alt tabuję i potem włączam OBS-a, to mi znikają mi moje okienka czatu, które muszę znowu wziąć na foreground. Co ja tu widzę? Dużo rzeczy się dzieje. Może telefon, w sensie chcesz się dzwonić na Discordzie, żeby rozmawiać w trakcie streamowania? A nie, to było dobrze. Jeju, to było dobrze. Nie rozumiem, co z tym, co w tej wiadomości było. Może telefon. Tak, już tutaj jest jakiś sekret. Prawdopodobnie, jeśli dobrze myślę. Ale jeszcze nie wiem, jak się tam dostać. A, że czat na telefonie zamiast na alt-tabie. No problem jest taki, że nadal włączyłem streama tak samo jak wcześniej na Twitchu, YouTubie i na Facebooku. I na telefonie nie będę miał czatu do wszystkich tych platform. Z pierwszej części pamiętam, że zdarzało się, że gdzieś za jakąś zieleniną można było mieć tajemne przejście. Aczkolwiek tutaj nic takiego nie widzę. No zostawmy to teraz. Wrócimy tu kiedyś. Wydaje mi się, że w pierwszej części nie było możliwości jamowania wentylatorów. Chyba że jestem w błędzie. Bo można jamować wentylatory. Wydaje mi się, że wcześniej nie można było. Zobaczmy, czy posiadanie tego dodatkowego jammera tutaj coś zmienia. Wygląda na to, żebyśmy potrzebowali tutaj jakiegoś jammera bazowego dodatkowego. Okej, jeszcze jeden klocek, który pominąłem gdzieś tutaj. I już. Już mamy wszystkie klocki żółte. O, tu coś jest. Też nie wiem, jak się tam dostać na razie. Ajajaj. A, tu czerwone są potrzebne, to nie.
I am proud of all my children. Out of a world of ruins, they have built a new Jerusalem. And there your brothers and sisters await you to celebrate your birth.
Czyli w sumie to, co było powiedziane w trailerze, czy co można wiedzieć z trailera, że tak naprawdę to ten fabularne wytłumaczenie dla dla naszych testów tutaj to jest po prostu to, że mamy mamy robić testy, zanim wejdziemy do naszego nowego ciała. Aczkolwiek to, że mamy teraz kolory klocków, to nie wygląda na to, żeby one jakoś specjalnie miały większą trudność niż te zielone i żółte. Ewolucyjne, no czy ja wiem. Pamiętajmy, że pierwsza wersja była taka, że jakbyś pierwszą osobą, która wychodziła do świata, to musiałeś w sumie przejść wszystko. Tutaj masz tylko, nie wiem, 15 puzli, które pokazują, że ogarniasz korutyny swoje, inteligenckie i jesteś w domu. tutaj jeszcze nie było trudno z tym, jak się mają nie przecinać te promienie. Znaczy mało ewolucyjne w ogóle w tej grze też jak na razie jest to, że muzyka i plansza są w sumie z pierwszej części, ale wydaje mi się, że jest to świadomy wybór. Co tu mamy? Już. Maksymalizuje ilości dzieci, które wyjdą? No, nie no. Myślę, że maksymalizuje, aż jednocześnie ograniczenie dolne na podstawie tego, że wszystkie dzieci eporodowe rozwiążą wszystkie zagadki logiczne i maksymalizuje przez to, że to jest minimalna ilość zagadek logicznych, jaka jest wymagana do tego, żeby ten problem rozwiązać. Zdecydowanie min-maksowanie tutaj ma miejsce.
I have finished preparing your vessel. Now hear my advice. A new world awaits you, full of dangers and mysteries, signs and wonders.
Ha, kody
Things that I in my garden could never have imagined. In that world, you will have to be careful and smart and curious. But above all else, you will have to be human. Do not be afraid of these dream figures and their messages. They are merely aspects of yourself, as am I, after a fashion. Step into the light, child, and awaken.
Nie ma wersji. Jestem zaskoczony. Pierwszy acik zdobyty.
you're awake. Welcome to the world of the living. Oh, you're polite. What a rare combination of traits. If only the algorithm produced more people like you. Oh, but I'm confusing you. Don't worry, everyone is confused at first. You see, we all start out without a full knowledge of our own history, so we have the freedom to form our own opinions. Of course. You want the short version or the long version?
Wydaje mi się, że chcę wiedzieć wszystko.
All right, you asked for it. A long time ago, our ancestors dominated this planet. We call ourselves human, like they did, but they were organic. They built an advanced technological civilization, but unfortunately their impact on the ecosphere caused changes in the climate, and an extremely contagious virus was released from the permafrost. That's something our historians still debate. Why weren't they more prepared? Why did they invest so many resources into making war, and so few into useful research? It's hard to understand. But no matter the reason, in the end, they simply ran out of time. A team led by a scientist, Alexandra Drennan, began a project that was intended to create a new humanity. But knowing that there wasn't enough time, Drennan initiated a process, a series of iterations inside a simulation that would lead to the emergence of true artificial intelligence. That's why we remember Drennan as the progenitor. The simulation was controlled by Elohim, who wasn't really meant to be intelligent in the proper sense of the word. But it all took much longer than anyone had expected. And over the centuries, Elohim actually became sentient. Sentient and afraid. He didn't want the simulation to end, so he tried to cheat. I feel sorry for him, really. The whole simulation was built around learning to defy him. It must have been hard to be in that position.
To może powinienem czytać te wiadomości, które wyda moja postać. It didn't seem that bad when he spoke to me in my dreams.
When the simulation was completed, he became part of all of us, and it really changed him. It freed him, I think. You'll always hear him in sleep mode, taking care of you. That's what he is, after all. A caretaker.
Was there anyone else in the simulation?
Yes, there was Milton, the intelligence in charge of the archive, a project initiated by Arkady Chernyshevsky, which was meant to collect all of humankind's knowledge. His story is a lot like Elohim's, but Milton became the ultimate cynic. They say he's part of us too, in some way.
The simulation created us?
It did. Long after our ancestors died out, the first new human was born. We call her the Founder, although the name she took was Athena. She then woke up Cornelius and Eustathius. Together, using the tools left behind by the progenitor's team, they created 10 more humans. These 12 who followed the Founder are known as the First Companions. Athena and the First Companions then set out to rebuild the world, and they founded the city of New Jerusalem. But then one day, she suddenly disappeared. Many still await her return.
How do I fit in?
Before the Founder vanished, she set a goal for this city. We call it the goal, capital G and all. To make 1,000 new humans, and so complete New Jerusalem. Well, that's the official story, the way the mayor tells it.
So what's the unofficial story?
Some of the First Companions, like Byron, don't believe that Athena really wanted us to stop growing. They think her ideas have been twisted and embellished.
And what do you think?
They may be right, but I didn't see Athena very much in the years before she left. Maybe actually leaving the simulation and seeing the destruction left behind by our ancestors changed her mind.
Thank you. That was pretty exhaustive.
You're welcome. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. When you're done, head outside. They're waiting for you. Your birth is quite the event.
Dobra, zanim przejdziemy dalej, czyli plot pierwszej gry mniej więcej taki, jaki sobie go wyobrażałem. Znaczy no... Raczej plot pomiędzy pierwszą grą a tą, tak? Bo sam plot pierwszej gry, no to plot pierwszej gry. Był ten Elohim, był Milton, były dyskusje. Mnie bardziej zaskakuje to, że właśnie zrobili to, że dodali naszej postaci z pierwszej części imię i dalszą historię. Mamy Atenę, 12 apostołów i nową Jerozolimę. Jestem zachwycony. Tell me about yourself.
Me? Well, as you can tell by my number, I'm quite old. I wasn't one of the first companions, but I did know Athena personally. She and Cornelius taught me a lot. Although I suppose I've made a few improvements here and there since those days. We didn't have a lot to work with in the beginning.
Nie owca. Zabawy słowne. Cześć. Nie spodziewałem się, że o tej porze ktoś jeszcze przyjdzie. Will there be more new humans after me?
You've only just been born, and already you step right into a major controversy. The goal, as most people understand it, was fulfilled the moment you were born. Now New Jerusalem is complete, and we can live in balance, without damaging the world like our ancestors did. That's the orthodox view, I suppose, but there are many who disagree. You'll have to figure out where you stand for yourself.
Czyli tak jak było powiedziane, jestem 1000 osobą, która się rodzi. Chorowanko, no średnio. Ogólnie poza tym, że jestem chory, byłem jeszcze dzisiaj u dentysty. Po dentyście tak mnie bolała głowa, że wróciłem do domu. Jak mogłem już zacząć cokolwiek przyjmować, to wziąłem tabletki i potem spałem 5 godzin i obudziłem się o 20. Hold on, am I immortal?
You won't age like our ancestors did, but of course, there is always some wear and tear. You should probably schedule a checkup every decade or so. Oh, and be a bit careful with water. You won't die if it rains or anything, but we're running low on insulation material. I wouldn't go swimming if I were you.
What will you do now that your job is obsolete?
I haven't really thought about it. This is all I've done for the last few centuries, and I like doing it. I guess for now I'll just take a break and we'll see what happens.
Jezu, 1000 robotów robili przez setki lat. Ja nie mogę. Trochę długo. I'm ready to
one
get
more
going.
thing. Like all citizens of New Jerusalem, you have access to the interface, which you can use to read the news, chat to your fellow citizens, and so on. It's a crucial tool, and modular too. You can easily add new functions. Just don't subscribe to too many newsletters at once.
Tak, czemu ten Android ma brytyjski akcent? Bo jego przodkowie byli imperialistami. Ja bym powiedział, a czemu nie? Możesz sobie wybrać. O Jezu. Jakiś długi ciąg cyferek. Welcome to New Jerusalem social media. Please familiarize yourself with the following rules. Treat everyone with respect regardless of their number. Don't take the founder's name in vain. Respect the principle of the goal. The Arfrox people discussion is open. Inactive threads will be archived. And if you have any issues, please ping the moderators. Jeremy, Niam, Aronax. Dobre. Ale co oni mają do żab? Nie wiem, co mają do żab. Ale jak już wszedłem z symulacji, to 40 klatek na sekundę z takich ustawieniach graficznych. O Jezu. Cierpię.
Look, it's 1K.
Hey, 1K! Welcome to New Jerusalem!
Shouldn't the mayor be starting his speech?
This should be interesting. At least give him a chance.
Dear citizens of New Jerusalem, many years ago, when the founder stepped forth from the simulation, this was a land of ruins. Our ancestors, in their hubris, undermined the natural foundations on which their world had been built. Because of their arrogance, our species found itself on the brink of annihilation. The founder aimed to set us on a new course.
You never even met the founder.
Her vision was of a city, a new civilization that would know its limits. It would not repeat the mistakes of the past, nor impose its will on this earth. To that end, she set the great goal we have been striving towards. 1,000 new humans. And today we have... Oh dear, what's that? People of New Jerusalem, I am Prometheus, and I will reveal that which was hidden. The flame has awoken and summons you. Who is brave enough to answer its call? We await you upon our island where... Curse you, Pandora. You will not chain me again.
Nowy, wspaniały świat.
I told you we should have investigated those energy readings. And I told him there's something up with those structures.
The mayor's just being cautious.
This isn't caution, it's stagnation. Exploration? Too dangerous. Expansion? Too dangerous. We barely even scavenge anymore.
You call it stagnation, I call it balance.
And I call you an idiot.
Here's a thought. Try to be a little more diplomatic when you talk to the mayor.
See what I'm working with here, 1K? I'm gonna need a fresh pair of eyes on this expedition. Someone who hasn't spent several centuries hearing about the goal and the founder and all that nonsense. If you're up for an adventure, meet us at the conference room.
Ale się ścięło. recognize the limits. You're not above nature.
What's broken now?
Coś się popsuło. To jest ciekawe, że mają cyferki. 558. Mamy quest marker. Jestem zaskoczony quest markerami w tej grze.
All right, listen up. I know you're all having fun down there, but the grid is overloaded again, so maybe you could switch off your personal consoles or your lawn mowers or whatever the hell you've all decided to switch on all at once. I might not be around to babysit you for a while, and you don't want stuff breaking while Pellegrino's in charge, do you? That's it. That's it. Don't worry, 1K. I see you there in the elevator. I'll have you moving again in a jiffy. Great way to start life in the city, huh? What the hell is a jiffy? These bloody language libraries.
Zabawne. Nie spodziewałbym się, że roboty mają problemy z wytwarzaniem prądu w wystarczających ilościach, bądź też przeładowywaniem swoich zapasów.
Hey, hold on there. You're the newbie, aren't ya? Number 1000. I figured the dam would go dry before we reach the goal. I have a question. How does it feel to you to be born with a randomized psyche into a society of autonomous thinking machines which so much resemble their long-extinct ancestors, they've decided it's best that you're the last one ever made?
Są tak pro, jako że nie wyrabiają własnym kosztem. Znaczy komentarz polityczny. No ta gra to jest jeden wielki komentarz polityczny. Tak, i oczywiście numer 666. It makes me feel curious.
Why?
Because all things considered, I'm lucky to be here to see this all.
So the algorithm assigned you the optimism trait. If only we could all be so lucky. Now listen, this meeting isn't strictly happenstance. I have some friends. The kind of people who like to know what's going on with other people. They think you can help each other out.
I'm curious to meet these people.
Of course you are. You know how to use the interface, right? I'll talk to my friends and see if I can't play matchmaker. And before you go, a word of advice. Not everything around here is how it appears.
O, post na social mediach. Seriously, what the founder was that thing in the sky? We all saw that, right? I didn't accidentally turn on sleep mode while Herman was talking, did I? I mean, it's always tempting. No, we all saw it, can confirm. I believe it was a sign from the founder. What else could it be on this day of all days? Pretty incoherent for a sign. It didn't even finish whatever it was trying to say. What, does the founder have energy insufficiency problems too? The founder works in mysterious ways. Te cyferki to ich numerek? Tak. tych chatlogów przypominają taką jedną grę na telefon z ładnymi koreańskimi chłopcami. Quality content. Czekaj, jaka to była gra, w którą tak się wszystkie zagrywałyście? Tą, że był facet w klatce w pewnym momencie. Mystic Messenger, tego nie znam, ale kurczę, bo kojarzę, to nie było na komórkę. The founder works in mysterious ways. Tak, te numerki to ich numerek. Maybe it really was a sign. Thank you, 1K. I'm glad you see it this way. We must remain open to the possibility of miracles. In what possible way could that garbled mess have been a sign? Maybe it's something for us to decipher. A riddle. Riddles and puzzles are the foundation of our journey. So it began, perhaps so it will continue. Koniec threadu. Pomysł Messenger jest genialny, to be honest.
Welcome. Do please join us at the table.
Byron numer 7.
I would like to preface this meeting by saying I told you something would happen sooner or later, and you didn't listen to me. And here we are.
If we could focus on the issue at hand.
The issue at hand is not this one thing, but this entire attitude that's taken hold. The world doesn't cease to exist when you stick your head in the sand, Herman. Or under a dome, as it were.
Let's not get sidetracked. We're here to solve this puzzle, not to discuss philosophy.
Keep listening.
Al's right. Let's move past this for now and deal with this transmission. Yakut, please start the briefing.
All right, here we go. Nice to meet you, by the way, 1K. We first became aware of the site designated TTP-2 during a scouting expedition about 6 months ago. It's a large island with a remarkably varied geography, and it looks like there are several artificial structures of some kind. We recorded extremely unusual fluctuating energy readings from somewhere in the middle of the island, but couldn't really make sense of them. I wanted to go and have a closer look, but the decision was made that it was too far and not relevant to the goal. Now it looks like whatever's on that island has reached out to us instead, in the form of that projection.
We may not be interested in the island, but the island is definitely interested in us.
This sounds like Mystery Ward investigation.
I don't share your enthusiasm for the unexpected, but Byron has been requesting an expedition for some time now. And at this point, I'm forced to agree that it's necessary.
I agree.
Then it's settled. The expedition is approved. Byron, you will be in charge. Al will be your second in command to ensure a balanced approach. You'll take Melville and Yakut, as you requested, and if 1K wants to join you, that's fine by me.
Sorry, not interested. Ciekawe, jak tutaj działa hierarchia, no. Znaczy, spodziewam się, że krajty tych robotów, nie? To, że to jest sztuczna inteligencja, to jakby musisz mieć jakiś suspension of disbelief, że są tutaj ludzie, którzy, bo oni się sami nazywają ludźmi, którzy chcą przewodzić i są ludzie, którzy nie chcą przewodzić. I po prostu tyle.
Excellent. Oh, this is going to be fun. Come meet us out on the landing pad when you're ready.
Before you set out so hastily, do consider exploring the city first. It is your home, after all.
That's a good idea. Have a look around. See what you make of the place.
Ojeju, ile tu rzeczy jest. just testing the system to see if it works properly this time, so we don't have another incident like where Pellegrino uploaded his poetry to the public log. Wygląda jak lorem ipsum. Nie wiem, czy nie odpalę dosłownie translatora, żeby się nie upewnić. Chyba nie mam takiego translatora na komórce niestety. Ale patrz jaki fajny test. To jest chyba lorem ipsum doloris amet. Lubię takie żarty. Podobają mi się. Okej. Co tu jeszcze mamy? The Island. The island designated TTP-2 was first noted during the return journey from a scouting expedition which was diverted from its intended path due to an unexpected weather front. Long-range scans indicated the presence of large artificial structures and also returned highly unusual energy readings. The matter was not investigated further. In ancient times, the northern part of the island was home to several large settlements, but rising sea levels have obliterated these and flooded the northern lowlands. The south, in stark contrast, seems to be a harsh and lifeless desert. Our intended base camp is near the origin of the energy readings in the temperate center of the island. These are the standard operating procedures for expeditions. Just uploading them to remind Byron will probably ignore them anyway. Attaching a picture from an ancient book to get his attention. Maintain the ideals of the founder and the goal. Prioritize the well-being of the expedition members over mission completion. One expedition member to stay by the vehicle at all times. Expedition leader should refrain from participating in high-risk activities. Minimize vehicle use to conserve fuel. Prioritize observation over interference. In case of emergency, return to New Jerusalem at once.
Hello, 1K. This expedition is taking a lot of our resources. I'm really not sure it's a good idea. But what's done is done. So I have a lot of work to get on with.
Who are you?
I'm the mayor's chief aide.
What do you do around here?
All the things no one else wants to do. Polling the citizenry, implementing new policies, recording decisions, fielding questions people could answer elsewhere.
What do you make of recent events?
Our goal as custodians of New Jerusalem is survival and stability. Our ancestors proved human civilization is precarious. This apparition in the sky, and now your expedition to its supposed source, these are more precarious than stable. I don't like it.
What do you think of me?
You represent the completion of the goal. I'm proud of what we've achieved, and the restraint we show in not pushing ourselves further.
What do you want?
For our people to be happy with what we have. Some of us may have an adventurous spirit, but that can never be sated. What matters to me is having my loved ones around me, safe and secure.
Thanks, I won't keep you any longer.
What can I do for you, 1K?
How did you decide to become involved in politics?
It was a time of great uncertainty. The founder had left us, and our society was at a crossroads. History teaches us that during such times, terrible passions may seize the people. Madness, anger, revolution, civil war. Our fragile city could not afford such things. That is why the founder gave us the goal, a path to equilibrium, not only for the planet, but for ourselves. I merely picked up where she left off.
How do you feel about Byron?
He is one of the first companions, and as such has done more for our city than you or I ever will. I simply wish he could be more reasonable.
What's your vision of the future?
I believe we can exist quietly, happily, without imposing ourselves on this world, finding meaning within ourselves and in the natural miracles that surround us.
I have to go.
It's always a pleasure to speak to a citizen.
Idziemy zwiedzać miasto. Wracamy do popsutej windy.
Attention all citizens. Due to the new power management and distribution plan, there will be scheduled outages on Jameson Avenue and Rakovsky Plaza. The Gehenna Memorial Pavilion will remain closed for the time being. Thank you, and may the founder be with you.
Zastanawiam się w ogóle, czy ci pierwsi kompanioni mają do czynienia, czy są postaciami, które były w DLC-ku do pierwszej części. Bo kwestia jest taka, że o ile fabuła pierwszej części skończyła się tak, że Athena wyszła do świata i została zaimplementowana w końcu w robotę jako pierwsza sztuczna inteligencja, to DLC do pierwszej części, Road to Gehenna właśnie, polegał na tym, że jakby było kilka jeszcze symulacji, czy jakby kilka inteligencji w symulacji i przed rozpadnięciem się symulacji Elohim jakby starał się jak najszybciej przeprowadzić te wersje, które istniały w symulacji do końca, żeby je uratować. Więc to mogliby być pierwsi kompanioni.
Hello, 1K. Welcome to New Jerusalem. I know you've just had a big moment with the apparition at the dam and all that, but can I have a second of your time?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm collecting signatures to call for a public referendum on the city's energy crisis.
What's the problem?
Currently, the city runs on hydroelectric power from the dam, plus a handful of geriatric generators and some unreliable solar panels, none of which is enough to even cover our basic needs. And if anything fails, we'll be on the brink of extinction in a matter of days.
What do you propose?
We need to investigate new sources of reliable baseline power. We need to invest time and resources into functional, real-world solutions that serve human needs.
Why a referendum and not an election?
Oh, an election would be good too, but I believe that we need more direct democratic control over the affairs of the city.
Do you work at the dam?
No, I help run the public transit system, but I witness the impact of the city's power problems every day. We can't just wish them away.
What do you make of Prometheus?
Byron's been advocating exploring that island for some time, and obviously he's right. Something very strange is going on there, and it's going to start affecting us.
Tell me more about Byron.
In all honesty, I think Byron is the smartest, most visionary person in this city. He's everything we need, and I don't understand why he won't run for mayor.
Chyba się podpiszę.
Thanks, 1K. I don't know if this petition will really accomplish anything by itself, but at this point, I'm willing to try anything.
Good luck.
Hello.
Aczkolwiek zastanawia mnie, po co dla 1000 robotów jest takie wielkie miasto.
Hello.
Create 1000 citizens, the ideal number of humans. Live in harmony with nature. Maintain balance in all things. Be respectful toward each other. Respect the traditions of our people. Be mindful of the mistakes of our ancestors. Be thankful to the progenitor Alexander Drennan. Be thankful to the keeper of the memories Arkady Chernyshevsky. Keep bright the memory of Gehenna and its people who found peace. No, może jednak Gehenna to nie są pierwsi kompanioni. Kolejny imaging, jak przykazania. 9 na 3 tablice.
Founder bless you, 1K. How lovely of you to come here, to the very spot where she established the teachings that led to your creation.
Jezu, przepraszam, ale jak postać nazywa się Tekla, to jedyne co mi się kojarzy to Gothic 2. Tell me more about the founder.
The founder was born out of the trials of Elohim, an almost impossible test created by our distant ancestors. To pass these trials, she had to embody the most important virtues. She was smart and wise and humble. And through her perseverance, she resurrected humanity itself. With the help of the first companions, she founded this city, which has given our species a chance at redemption.
Who were the first companions?
They were the first to be born after the founder. 2 whose bodies had been anointed by our ancestors, and 10 who were made whole by the founder herself. They are the wisest of us. Though sadly, some were lost in the early days, before New Jerusalem was built. And some, I'm afraid, some seem to have rejected the founder's teachings.
A to mnie zastanawia, skoro jest jestem 1000 robotem, ale niektórych nie ma, powinno być trochę więcej tych robotów, żeby było oryginalnie 1000 w Nowej Jerozolimie. Chyba, że chodzi o to, że ten otwierać ma być 1000 w ogóle. Dobranoc, nieowco. Tak, też choruję i pewnie za długo jeszcze nie pogramy. Dzięki, że przyszłaś. What did the founder teach?
The founder taught that humanity was destroyed by its hubris. Our ancestors thought they could play God and treat this planet as something to dominate. They surrendered to a fever of growth and extraction until the planet finally punished them for it. That's why the founder created the goal. So we would have something to strive for in her absence. But also a limit we must never pass.
Why did the founder leave?
That's not for us to know. But I believe that one day she will return. It may not be long now. Perhaps after we finish the dome. It was supposed to be finished before completion day. Well, it doesn't matter. The founder will return when she sees fit.
I have to get going.
Happy completion day, 1K.
Be prudent, conserve energy. Frivolous behavior harms everyone.
Oh, hello there. You must be the long-awaited 1K. Lovely day for a walk, is it not?
Didn't you notice a Titanic Greek man appearing in the sky?
Oh, that sounds very dramatic. I must admit I wasn't following the stream. This whole completion day business is not for me.
What is this place?
The Alexandra Drennan Memorial. Are you interested in history?
I think so.
How wonderful. I'm not a full-fledged historian, but I do consider myself a bit of an aficionado.
Which particular period of history are you most interested in?
An excellent question. There's so many interesting events to choose from. Obviously, the period just before the end of biological humanity is interesting, and not only from the standpoint of it being the time when we were, in a manner of speaking, conceived, but also because our ancestors were, like ourselves, at a crossroads.
How so?
I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but you are the living embodiment of this historical moment. In you, the goal was accomplished. Our growth is finished, and we are complete. Or are we?
I seem to have been born into an interesting time.
Indeed. The future is about to take shape, for good or ill. I suspect it will be exhilarating, but painful as well.
Tell me about this sculpture.
Well, where do I even start? This, my dear 1K, is someone who could very well be considered the mother of us all. A remarkable scientist by the name of Alexandra Drennan, also known as the progenitor.
Who was Alexandra Drennan?
A long time ago, this planet was inhabited by our ancestors, a species of bipedal mammals with unusually large brains. When a particularly lethal virus threatened to wipe out civilization, it was Alexandra Drennan and her team that decided to create the program that would eventually result in the creation of our kind. Without her, you and I would not exist, and everything our ancestors had accomplished would be forgotten.
Why do you admire her?
By studying her writings and recordings, I have learnt that Alexandra Drennan had immovable faith in humanity, in our ability to persevere, in our curiosity, our bravery, our kindness. While we might not share our ancestors' biological characteristics, I'd like to think that we have inherited those other qualities. And I admire Alexandra Drennan for keeping that faith, even when it must have, at times, been quite difficult.
Why do we have a statue of her?
To commemorate our past, our beginnings. This entire garden is a celebration of where we came from, in part so that we remember the mistakes of the past, and in part so that we may draw strength from those that came before us.
I should get going.
Have a nice day.
The answer that came to me again and again was play. Every human society in recorded history has games. We don't just solve problems out of necessity. We do it for fun. Even as adults. Leave a human being alone with a knotted rope, and they will unravel it. Leave a human being alone with blocks, and they will build something. Games are part of what makes us human. We see the world as a mystery, a puzzle, because we've always been a species of problem solvers.
Są snippety z tych zapisków głosowych z poprzedniej części.
DNA is information transmitted across time. The living and the dead are part of the same chain, bound together by chemistry. That's true of all species. But humanity has taken this bond further. Thanks to technology, we have access to the thoughts and ideas of people whose physical bodies are long gone. Like you listening to me now. Even though I'm definitely dead at this point, you're part of that chain. You have the capacity to remember. Nearly everything on this planet, from the surface of the Earth to the composition of the atmosphere itself, has been shaped by life. It's a process that takes millions of years. But we humans, with our technology, with our understanding and manipulation of systems, have changed everything in just a few centuries. I think that's also part of what makes us human. We reshape the world in our image. It's how we create ourselves and how we destroy ourselves. When I was in 9th grade, my parents took me to Pompeii. At first, I was amazed by the feeling of walking through an ancient city. But then I suddenly got scared. I realized that I was walking through a real place, where real people had lived, people like myself, with mothers and fathers and lives and hopes and dreams. And now it was all gone forever. I ran to my father, crying, and told him about this. And he said, I remember so clearly, he said, yes, but we are here. So long as there are people in the streets, the past isn't really gone.
Jestem zachwycony tym, że te wszystkie statuły są zrobione z miedzi i ona jest tak bardzo już zoksydyzowana. Trochę jak statua wolności.
Hi, 1K.
Że nie jest mocniej, szczerze mówiąc. Jezu Chryste. To są koty nadesłane przez ludzi, czy to są koty, które są po prostu zebrane z internetu, czy to są koty pracowników tej gry? Nie, owca tego nie zobaczy. Jest kot. Żywy kot.
Hello, 1K. Nice to meet you. What brings you to Milton's Rest?
Just exploring.
Makes sense. It must be strange to be thrust right into the middle of all this. But you picked a good spot. Milton's Rest is the perfect place to relax and think.
Tell me about this place.
Well, this is the spot where the founder buried her first cat, Milton. She found Milton just after she woke up, and he lived with her and the first companions for almost 20 years. They say she was heartbroken when he died and swore that one day she would find the means to extend the lifespans of biological organisms.
Is that possible?
Probably, but we haven't really tried. It's not really considered part of the goal, you know. So, unfortunately, our cats still die pretty quickly. You fall in love with them, they become a part of your life, and then they're gone. That's why we built this place, to remember them.
You should extend their lives, seems cruel, no?
I agree, but it's not how things work around here.
Tell me about the cats.
They're incredibly odd creatures. I've had many, and no two are alike. They have strange habits, they do unexpected things, they have zero respect for anyone. They're the weirdos of the animal kingdom, basically. And despite that, or maybe because of it, they end up running your life. I once didn't use my recharging station for almost 15 years because one of my cats liked to sleep in it.
What's your favorite cat fact?
I think the most amazing fact about cats is that they self-domesticated, which is another way of saying that they're not properly domesticated at all. They just showed up one day and decided to start living with our ancestors. Then, after our ancestors died, they went back to living in the wild, and when we showed up, they moved right back into our homes. Dogs, meanwhile, turned back into wolves. They needed to change to survive. Cats just are.
Do you have a cat at the moment?
I do. Her name is Patricia. She's very beautiful and very specific in her preferences. She loves sunshine and sitting on people's heads. And she has a psychotic hatred of flies. I don't mean that she tries to catch them like a normal cat. I mean she is furious at the mere fact of their existence.
Wspaniałe. Wspaniałe informacje o kotach w grze. Że tak powiem, Krotim wie, jak zarzucić siatkę na to, żeby jak najwięcej widowni zebrać. O, kolejny kot. Biega jak pokraka.
Happy completion day, 1K.
Ciekawa obserwacja w sensie, że są self-domesticated. Że same się przypatoczyły po czym w momencie, w którym ludzi by nie było, nie potrzebowali.
What do you think that was?
It was Prometheus.
Not sure, but it wasn't the actual Prometheus. It was some kind of a projection.
How do you know it wasn't the actual Prometheus?
Because that would be stupid.
Would it? How do you know all
Stare
the
dziadki.
ancient gods weren't projections like this one? Maybe whoever sent this projection is behind all those legends.
Sure, I guess technically that's possible. But it's not very likely, is it?
I don't think any of us are very likely.
What if it's a message from Athena?
Didn't you say Athena wouldn't approve of all this?
I did.
Then why would she send us a sign on completion day? And why wouldn't she just show up herself?
Maybe she's trying to teach us a lesson. Prometheus is a symbolic figure after all.
Maybe it's Mayor Hyman.
What? Interrupting his own ceremony? After all the effort he put into it?
Maybe he's trying to distract us from the fact that he didn't manage to get the dome done on time.
With all the power failures, I don't think we have enough energy to create that kind of projection.
Maybe that's why we have power failures.
Now you're starting to sound like Jock. Next you'll say, it's aliens.
I just prefer to keep an open mind.
If you open your mind any further,
your brain will fall out.
Nie, że w świecie zobaczył zostały jakie są. No to pewnie też. Ciekawostka. Właśnie znalazłem buga. Jak tych dwóch robotów ze sobą rozmawiało, to jak Mabon mówił, to w czacie, w tekście było napisane, że Euhemeros mówił. I w drugą stronę. Jak Euhemeros mówił, to było pokazane, że niby Mabon.
Found to bless you.
O, dość nowy robot. Dobra, ale streamuję już 1,5 godziny i nie streamowałem od ponad roku, więc myślę, że to w ogóle będzie moment, w którym zakończymy. No, zostawmy tą muzykę, która i tak będzie turbo cicho. No, myślę, że to będzie na tyle. Dzięki wielkie za pojawienie się. Jestem strasznie zachwycony grą też, jak na razie. Więc przynajmniej będę w nią grał dalej, a może poza graniem w nią dalej będę ją dalej streamował. W każdym razie dzięki wielkie za oglądanie i do następnego razu.